Have you noticed that stupid brand collaborations just won't stop coming out? Crocs have got to be the worst offender. The Shrek Crocs are absolutely hideous. Noses and feet do not go together like this, but being ugly is why people both love and hate Crocs. This is an okay match. They say good collaboration is just good storytelling. So when I look at the Hidden Valley Ranch dressing Crocs, I guess I'm supposed to think about salad dressing in between my toes and squirting out of those little croc holes. And you know, they released the high heel Crocs in collaboration with Balenciaga just to piss people off. Crocs are supposed to be comfortable. That's the one thing people say to defend Crocs. This is not comfortable, but it's working. Croc sales are up 43% year on year, with character-inspired releases doing significantly well. The Crocs Mater Clog was resold more than any other Croc in its first week. That's Tow Mater from Cars, if you weren't aware. Yeah, this is Billiam, and today I want to talk about brand collaborations. Specifically when two brands come together to create a novelty product. We're not talking about cross promotion like when Red Bull and GoPro sent that guy to space just to push him off the platform. We're not talking celebrity endorsements like OJ selling OJ. We're talking about product collaboration, because the thing about a good product collaboration is that sometimes they really do be getting my ass. I got the Arizona iced tea Adidas. Going to the website of any major brand, they're all doing it. McDonald's has the Minecraft meal with Minecraft Nether Flame sauce. M&M's is collaborating with Kate Spade on a designer handbag, which is a step up from their collaboration with Heinz Ketchup. Lush Cosmetics made over $10 million with their Super Mario collaboration. They sold 250,000 bath bombs that look like the little question block. And at the mall right now, they have bath bombs for Minecraft, Shaun the Sheep, and even E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Wrinkles be damned, that skin is flawless. Who is paying for these Swarovski crystal minions for $250 each? Who is buying the $23,000 crystal Disney's Alice in Wonderland sculpture? Are people even supposed to buy these, or are you just supposed to look at them? Answering why there is an ever persistent line of odd brand collaborations is actually pretty easy. For starters, a lot of things sold as brand collaborations really are just simple licensing deals. And year over year, recognizable brand licensing is making more and more money. $360 billion in 1 year is a crazy number. That is so much Grogu Gogurt. There are whole stores that only sell licensed merchandise, like Box Lunch. One brand they carry is Loungefly, which only sells licensed backpacks. And they're owned by Funko Pop, which only sells licensed figures. Personally, I think labeling a simple licensing deal as a brand collaboration sort of just allows adults to buy something nostalgic without feeling like they're buying something that's meant for children. Remember, it's not the anime shirt you bought at Walmart, it's the Hypeland X One Piece limited edition collaboration. It's the Dolls Kill X Care Bear collaboration. It's the Sanrio X Dumb Good Kuropi jumper, and it's all over $90. Teddy Fresh X SpongeBob, what's next? Baby X bottle? But it gets cheaper. Fast fashion store Uniqlo has a very large calendar displayed at the entrance to hype up their upcoming licensed collaborations. But even designer brands are guilty. Coach slapped Scooby-Doo on a purse and charged $750 for it. It's sold out, selling for $750. Is this a front? Is Coach a front? But in the world of collaborations, buzz might just be more important than sales. Early last year for Valentine's Day, Target sold exclusive Stanley Cups in not only Cosmo Pink, but Target Red. People went crazy for their Target branded Stanley Cup. Fights broke out. Supplies couldn't keep up. People died. I'm kidding, that didn't happen. But because of the chaos, every single publication wrote about Target and Stanley coming together to sell an exclusive Target Red Stanley Cup. Brand collaboration as it exists today really goes back to streetwear culture in the 1990s. Brands using X as a stylistic symbol for collaboration goes back to Tokyo streetwear culture. And the hypebeast culture in America led to major brands such as Nike to collaborate with streetwear brands like Supreme to draw sidewalk-busting crowds for the limited edition product drops. Nike's collaboration with Staple in 2005 is said to have literally started a riot. all for a cute little pigeon on the heel of a Nike shoe. I don't know, hype beasts were a bunch of cutie patooties. According to the brand collaboration focused agency Collabosaurus, brand collaborations are up to 25 times more cost efficient than digital advertising when it comes to creating awareness. Now, I'm not saying that brand collaborations are a recession indicator, but I don't know one person who can afford the $10,000 Gucci Xbox. But both brands generated a ton of awareness when 2 million people watched Marquez Brownlee unbox it on YouTube. Back in 2023, the Barbie movie had this massive brand collaboration campaign. It was iconic. It felt like a cultural moment. But I do not think it's a coincidence that just months before this brand collaboration campaign started, that it was reported the newly merged Warner Brothers Discovery was suffering from a major cash problem. They had finished movies they could not afford to market and release. That's crazy. And just months after this was reported, much of Barbie's massive marketing campaign was fueled not through traditional advertising, but through brand collaborations. The movie partnered with everybody: Gap, PacSun, Zara, Bloomingdale's, Crocs, Walmart. There was a fucking Airbnb Barbie Malibu dream house. It was a massive cultural moment, but in a way, it was a manufactured cultural moment. And just last year, Universal tried to recreate the success of Barbie's collaboration campaign with Wicked. Variety reported that over 400 brands partnered with the movie. Universal marketing officer Michael Moses told movie theater owners that his mission with Wicked was being just short of obnoxious, saying, "We live in an environment where monoculture doesn't happen the way it used to, so you have to be everywhere." And Wicked Part 2 comes out this year. They're gonna be everywhere again. Starbucks collaborated with a film for the very first time to release 2 exclusive pink and green drinks.
For Alpha and Glinda, right here.
Walmart had great value, quote, Wicked mystery color macaroni and cheese. That is foul, but you bet your sweet bippy that Wicked partnered with Target and Stanley Cup to create exclusive Target Stanley Wicked Cups. And while we're at it, why don't we just put all of our bippies down on the table, because you know the media once again was reporting on the chaos created by the Wicked Stanley Target Cups.
People in line behind her that upset her.
There were people screaming, shoving, people were grabbing things out of carts, and I was like, what is happening?
And you know what? This video, it's sponsored by me. That's right, for the first time ever, I'm not collaborating with any brand. I'm sponsoring myself. They always said invest in yourself, but if you want to invest in me, you can join my Patreon by going to patreon.com/Billiam or by going to hipstertrash.com, which currently redirects to my Patreon. Pretty nifty. I'm also just a few days away from relaunching my second channel, Billiam Hipster Trash, or just Billiam Trash, where I will be solely focusing on talking about nostalgic cartoons and toys. It's classic Billiam, and it's a lot of what I want to focus on this year, so stay tuned. I got a Digimon podcast project coming up called the Nova Blast Podcast. And did you know that this year Digimon is doing a collaboration with Godzilla? I intend to talk about it on that second channel. This is a collab, Billiam first channel X second channel. Thanks for listening to me, guys. Back to the video. I feel like when brands are trying to find a good match for a collaboration or something noteworthy, they usually go for one of 2 options. 2 brands can get together and take a nice little photo together, or they can do a silly one. I cannot tell you how many people talking about brand collaborations had to mention the Oscar Meyer Bologna X Soul Mama's face mask. That's not bologna, that's a beauty mask, and it's based on an intrusive thought all bologna enjoyers have had. What if I just slapped that meat on my face? Sometimes brands not being obvious pairs is what makes the collab memorable. I will always remember Mercedes releasing DLC for Mario Kart 8. Sure, it's funny seeing Mario in the car in the game, but they also released this little promo with this like insane, weirdly hot, realistic Mario. It might have changed a lot of people that day, but do you think Mercedes sold a single car because of this? Do you think anybody bought a Wii U because of this? This is called shock marketing, and it is a key component to collaboration. One of the most talked about Barbie collabs was barbecue sauce and collab with Heinz. It was like a part mayo, part barbecue pink sauce. It's like kind of gross looking. Skittles released a French's mustard flavored Skittle, but food is really easy to shock people with. It takes a real sick fuck working at a designer label like Christian Cowan to think about charging people $2,500 for the Teletubbies Dipsy boots. If you wear these, just know Marie Antoinette was killed for less. And then we have brand collaborations that are just the perfect match. More than 10 years ago, Doritos and Taco Bell got together to release the Doritos Locos Taco, and Taco Bell has been chasing the high ever since. Last year, they did a keynote speech like Steve Jobs announcing the iPhone to announce that they were now selling the Crunchwrap Supreme with a giant Cheez-It inside of it.
That is a Cheez-It inside.
That one did not last long, but then 5 days ago, Taco Bell announced that they would be continuing to seek new collaboration opportunities as they continue to release new menu items. According to Taco Bell's chief marketing officer, it was time to show the world how Taco Bell does chicken nuggets. Unexpected and undeniably bold. And combined with the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch sauce, we hope it'll test people's devotion to their favorite nuggets. As a ranch enjoyer, Hidden Valley. But as a Taco Bell enjoyer, I'm listening. A lot of the time, collaborations create limited release items, incentivizing customers to get it while supplies last. In 2024, Wendy's brought Krabby Patties, the succulent undersea meal from SpongeBob, into real life. No longer just a little gummy, a full burger. Exactly one store got all decked out in SpongeBob theming, but most other Wendy's served up disappointment.
I hope you're hungry for nothing.
As it's just a fucking Wendy's burger in regular Wendy's packaging. They had a little pineapple drink too, but that's not what people want. SpongeBob lives there, we can't drink that. Fortnite has defined itself as the ultimate digital hub for brand collaborations. They threw Thanos and John Wick into the game and everybody lost their minds when they started doing the gritty. That's worth the cost of the skin. You're telling me that Alien can do the gritty while wearing Nikes? You got my ass. I paid this game real money. And the best part is, these are skins. It does not make you better in the game to spend a ton of money on Fortnite. It's simply cosmetic for the player's enjoyment. Fortnite's collaboration with pop stars and musicians like Snoop Dogg and Ariana Grande has absolutely cemented it as the cultural powerhouse in any sort of metaverse conversation. You have Fortnite up here and literally everyone else is way, way, way down there. I signed up for Fortnite Crew just to get the Sabrina Carpenter skin. All the Sabrina Carpenter girlies refusing to shoot each other just to bust up Hatsune Miku is what Fortnite was made for. But the worst part about Fortnite is its timed exclusivity on so many skins. They are preying on your fear of missing out. I got into Fortnite pretty late and I always regret not signing up earlier so I could have bought the Chun-Li costume while it was in the store. It could come back, but it's been years. But a lot of the exclusive skins are never coming back. If you didn't get Darth Vader, one of the most popular characters ever 3 years ago, you are out of luck. There's still hope for Chun-Li, I'm fine. But they will never bring skins from the Battle Pass back because then players won't be incentivized to pay for the Battle Pass and earn skins when they release. So if you like a skin on the Battle Pass, you better buy it and get grinding. The cringiest collaboration Fortnite did was with Balenciaga. Sure, the exclusive skins were all the same price as all the others, but to coincide with it, you can actually buy that Balenciaga Fortnite hoodie that dog is wearing. Designer labels like the Common Cigarette wants to get their claws into kids while they're young, just so they can get into credit card debt when they're older. But these pop star and designer label collabs is what makes Fortnite a juggernaut. But now, all of the geriatric video game franchises are hobbling their way over to try to get on the battle bus before it's too late. Call of Duty was asking players to pay $80 to equip your character with King Kong's Beast Gauntlet from the film Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. $80 for King Kong's robotic glove that was created last year just to sell toys and to also fix his injured hand. Don't worry, I've seen the film. All of Overwatch's brand collaborations featured their characters dressing up as characters from another franchise. Characters from My Hero Academia and Cowboy Bebop completely lose their charm when they are cosplay for the Overwatch cast.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Looking at these skins, I feel as dead as the game. Without a doubt, product collaboration has forever changed Magic the Gathering. Likely for the worse. The game has existed since 1993, but 20 years later, it saw unprecedented success with a card set released in collaboration with Lord of the Rings, which iconically included several limited cards matching the number of mythic rings in Tolkien's universe, sending non-Magic players and collectors on a hunt for the one ring to rule them all, Willy Wonka golden ticket style. Rapper Post Malone, who at the time of recording this video just finished a successful collaboration with Oreo Cookie, ended up paying $2 million for the only printing of a card that cannot be played in the game. What would you rather have, the one ring to rule them all, or $2 million? While many fans hate that Hasbro has put so much focus on appealing to a high-paying collector's market over the player base, they were assured by the fact that the Lord of the Rings cards were not legal to the game itself. They were solely collector's items. Before, Magic only released collabs on Secret Lair, Wizard of the Coast's premium collectibles storefront. However, these cards would typically just reskin existing cards for collectors. The latest Secret Lair drop just came out and was split into 3 releases in collaboration with SpongeBob SquarePants. The art of the characters are fierce, but have absolutely no attempt to fit into the fantasy world of Magic. And there was a whole premium release where the art was just a bunch of SpongeBob meme screenshots, which is following the controversy of Wizards of the Coast using AI art in the game itself. This bothers a lot of Magic the Gathering fans, because the world and story is really told through the card art and the flavor text, and the collaborations has diluted that quality of the brand. And Magic has only continued to make collaborations more invasive to the core game. With the Universes Beyond campaign, entire sets are being released as collaborations, entirely legal in Magic's standard card rotation. The Spider-Man set coming out later this year will be fully integrated into the game's rotation of cards.
Oh, legal life. Yeah, legal.
Which has now just created another problem. Magic the Gathering could not secure the rights to Spider-Man for the digital release of the game. So Magic has had to go back and redesign and redraw every single Spider-Man related card as an in-universe version owned properly by Wizards of the Coast. This in-universe version will be exclusive to the digital sales, while Spider-Man will be the print version, which is just gonna create all sorts of confusion when trying to learn what the new cards are and what they do. They all have 2 names now, and it gets worse. In recent years, Magic has released 4 new sets of cards annually, which is up from 3 a few years before that, and that translates to players having to invest significant money every few months in order to keep up with the game. But now, to make room for more collaborations, which will be included in Magic's standard card rotation, Wizards has announced plans to release 6 sets a year, with half of them being in collaboration with another brand, which has suddenly made keeping up with the game much more expensive, not for collectors, but for the player base. And needless to say, that sucks. In early 2025, Minecraft, Disney, and Sanrio are everywhere. I've also seen tons of collaborations with the Hot Wings themed talk show hosted on YouTube, Hot Ones. Ramen, Pringles, Panda Express, Firehouse Subs. I've also seen Hidden Valley Ranch everywhere. Bugle Chips, DiGiorno Pizza, Sunflower Seeds, Hot Pockets, Burt's Bees Lip Balm.
Ranch Crocs. You're fire. I've been about that.
It's so clear that nowadays brand collaborations are just a part of larger marketing campaigns. Initially, something big I really wanted to talk about in this video is the problem with designer brands collaborating with fast fashion brands. And fast fashion is characterized in part by the exploitative labor practices along the supply chain, including forced labor. But then the more I researched, the more I started to understand that those problems are also really prevalent in the designer fashion world. So shout out to a huge portion of the fashion world, both luxury brands and fast fashion alike, collaborating together to keep human rights and global working conditions suppressed. So to finish out the video, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about something that seems so obvious yet needs to be stated. brands aren't people, okay? And for example, painter Bob Ross died in 1995, but in 2025, his face is more prevalent than ever. The beloved host of The Joy of Paint taught millions how to find joy in painting or joy in just watching Bob Ross paint something, mesmerizingly putting together landscape scenes with oil paints in under 30 minutes. It used to be you'd only see Bob Ross's face on art supplies, paintbrushes, and paint, but now you can buy Bob Ross anything. Energy drinks, waffle makers, $700 skis. Ultra Pro makes sleeves, deck boxes, card mats, and binders. There are toasters, dozens of plushies and figures, board games.
Leave me alone!
But none of the money earned from all of this goes to Bob Ross's family.
What?
No, instead it all goes to Bob Ross Inc., which is run by the children of his former business partners, who fought tooth and nail for the rights to Bob's work and his likeness while he was battling cancer, and even more fiercely following his death. The story is told in depth in the article The Ugly War Over Bob Ross's Ghost, written by Alston Ramsey for the Daily Beast. In his lifetime, the only clear licensing rights Bob Ross Inc. had was to put Bob's face on paint supplies. Into his dying days, his business partners Annette and Walt Kowalski tried to pressure Bob into signing away the rights to his work and likeness, which the Kowalskis argued would only be solidifying existing verbal agreements that the business was already founded on. But Bob Ross refused to sign, making an addendum to his will right before he died, explicitly stating the rights to his work and likeness would be transferred to his son, Steve Ross, something he only discovered 20 years later. Steve Ross sued Bob Ross Inc., but the corporation was successfully able to argue that due to the existence of prior verbal contracts, none of which have a signed written copy, that any direction Bob Ross had given about these rights afterwards was rendered void. Per the article, one of Bob's close friends, John Tham, sensationally took to calling their maximalist approach Grand Theft Bob, an effort to take what he and others did not believe belonged to them. Working in children's television was a dream Bob Ross was not able to fulfill during his life. But before he died, he would film an appearance which he would make posthumously on the children's show The Adventures of Elmer and Friends. However, when they saw it, the Kowalskis and Bob Ross Inc. sued PBS and the show, saying they had never given Bob permission to appear. However, Bob had kept an extensive collection of audio recordings to help him with his memory loss during cancer treatments, exposing that the Kowalskis were blatantly lying. They had given Bob permission to appear on the show. When this was discovered, Bob Ross Inc. went after the Bob Ross estate, nickel and diming his family for every little expense incurred while Bob was dying, including hospital bills. Bob Ross Inc. made it clear legally that keeping Bob Ross the man alive was not in their business interest. It was not considered a business expense. Bob Ross Inc. only cared about the license, not Bob Ross himself. They only stopped pursuing Bob Ross's family, only in part if the family erased any audio tapes that Bob Ross had created while he was dying. Audio tapes which could potentially have damaged any other narrative spun about the rights to Bob Ross's legacy. So when you see these brands collaborating with a dead person, when you see $700 Bob Ross skis, just know the thing that connects you to this brand, Bob Ross himself, is being exploited for the sake of selling shitty merchandise. And the fact that his family gets no money from it was no happy little accident. And finally, to end the video, I just want to mention Sargento Cheese x McCormick Spices. They knew there was nothing exciting or sexy about this collab, but they went ahead and did it anyways, just for the love of the game. Gotta respect it. See ya.